Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on this rainy night for tonight's team call. Some announcements. I'm sure you guys already know Pumpkin Spice is sold out. Womp womp. They are contemplating of getting more out there, but that would kind of put a hold on all the other kind of like Shakeologies we have because there's only like, so many facilities that can produce it. So there is a possibility they might get it back. But we're kind of hoping that they'll do like a Christmas one and kind of like or they think for St. Patty's. I forget what they were thinking. But so there's a bunch of ideas. So this was like a good test run to see like if this is something that's going to bring a lot of new people or just get new coaches, new customers or old coaches kind of like reinvigorated to try something new. And obviously they think it worked. I think it worked too. So if you didn't get it, sorry, it's sold out, but I did get a lot of boxes. So if any of you want to buy some from me, you absolutely can. Just, reach out to me. Live for final month of $10 off. Beachbody apparel is also on sale to the end of the month. To Be Mindset certification is open if you want to get that and kind of just put another, check mark or degree, not a degree, but you know what I mean, onto your kind of Beachbody tool bag that is there. And then Shift Shop Proving Ground is October 1st. I'm not 100% clear if it's just going to be a few workouts or it's going to be a completely different new program. If you go into your Coach Online office and the announcements on the bottom, or is it right here, Coach Breaking News, all that stuff is there, and the apparel and all that fun stuff too. And I lost my, here we go. Okay. October 20th is Super Saturday for Philly, for our area. It's going to be Sunday the 21st. If you've never been to a Super Saturday or Sunday in Philadelphia, you need to get there. I don't care if you're scared of going alone. In Philly, there's like 25 of us, so you're not going to be going alone. If you're going somewhere else in a different location and you're like, I don't want to go alone, there's probably 500 other people thinking the same thing. If you want to step outside of your comfort zone, if you want to grow this business, if you want to get to that next step, if you feel like you're stuck and don't know why, like events are the thing that you need to go to. Personal development is that thing. The team retreat is going to be the weekend of January 11th and 12th. January 11th is only if you're going to be staying overnight. The 12th is going to actually be the team retreat. You can also stay over that night as well. More details will come. We haven't picked a house yet, but we're thinking either Stone Harbor, Avalon, or Cape May. We'll rent a nice fancy schmancy house for all of us and have some fun. All right, that's it for announcements. So I think it was last week. I don't know. I don't even know. But we did how to retain customers. And this week I wanted to focus on how to retain coaches because I think, yes, there's some similarities, but there's definitely some other ideas we can definitely branch off and talk about. So use the chat, unmute yourselves, and let's just go to town. So if you weren't on the team call from last Tuesday, we pretty much just brainstorm. So that's what we're going to do today or tonight. It's just brainstorm different ideas. So call it out, do it in the chat of how we can retain coaches. So I'll kind of just start us off. There we go. Is getting them started right. So what does that mean? So they can, do you have a welcome email for your coaches? And then so on and so forth. So if you guys want to just unmute yourselves, chat in the comments, and I'll fill it all in as we go. So there's no formality to this call. Anybody have anything that they want to add underneath of getting started right for coaches? How can we get new coaches started off right so that they will stick around, so that they'll be a lifer, so that they'll continue on?
Be sure they're invested in their own journey or on the right track with their own fitness journey.
So like have a fitness goal for them. How would I say that shortly? Know their, why are we hitting a blank?
Lauren said invested. Why?
Well, be a product of the product, right?
Yeah, just making sure that because coaches come in at all different phases. There's coaches that are going to come in brand new. So I think it's really important, like, that they have a journey. They need a transformation. And if you're coming into being a coach after already having a fitness transformation, that stuff might be already there. But I think that's makes it even stronger, obviously, if you have a good one.
I gotcha. So whether they already have one or they need one, make sure they do. I'm going to put another one here. Know their why. And I know, like, I struggle with this too, with getting my coaches to know their why. Like, why do they want to coach? And that can come in all shapes and sizes and forms. And I'm not the greatest at kind of like making people cry. Like, have a why that makes you cry. Something that's so strong that coaches are not going to want to quit. That even if they don't hit Success Club 1 month, or even if they have a crappy paycheck, or even if they have coaches that cancel, because guys, that happens all the time. We need to make sure that coaches know why they're doing this. So when they do have those tough months, that they stay with this.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just going to start throwing some stuff under here.
Christina, yours is different, though. I think yours is good. Oh. Christina wrote here, making sure they know how to share, or encouraging them to share their journey. I think that's different than having a transformation.
Yeah, we could start like a whole new thing for that. I feel like my brain's like not working today.
Maybe that's a separate category. Is like
well, I think like just social media presence, right?
Yeah, social media, education.
And you guys know I can't spell. I know that's not the right way to spell present or whatever I'm trying to say, but that's what we're freaking going
with. The better you're able to share on social media, the better you're able to connect with people, the more likely you are to have success.
Share their journey. Fitness. Yeah, so I'll be honest, guys, like, you guys kick ass at sharing your journey with your fitness. But I think, and I can attest to this for myself too, is that we're not also gung-ho on sharing what coaching is doing for us. And if you want this to be a legit business to build income, and being that like residual business where you're not doing all of the work, then focusing on coaching is really where you want to like place all your efforts. And you'll see like the top coaches, that's what they do. 70% of the time, yes, they still share their health and fitness journey, but they share like why they're a coach. They share the team calls that they're on, on their Instagram stories. They share their little successes, whether it's a great paycheck or, a new coach ring advancement. Like what I do for my Instagram stories, I know like the team is not all my personally sponsored coaches. Obviously, I can't do all that work. But if somebody is ranking advancing on a Thursday, I take a screenshot of it and I recognize them on my Instagram stories, right? Like, so those are just different ways, for you to let people know that they can be a coach too. That you are a coach, that you're just not, yay, like, here's my transformation, but I'm a coach because of this. you can do this too. This is what coaching has done for me, or this is where I want to go with coaching. Ashley does a really good job of sharing that, of like where she wants coaching to go for her.
Yeah, she does do a good job with that.
And Leah, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, the way you can look at it two different ways. I think I know when I was a newer coach, like that was the one thing that like terrified me, was sharing about coaching, and it took me a long time to really break through sharing that. I make sure like I do like a weekly call to action for coaching now. But most of my posts are like breadcrumbs. So I think of it as a breadcrumb. It's like, how do I share what coaching's done for me, but also sometimes in a way that it's not like explicit, like this is what coaching has done for me. You know, I'll share me being at the doctors with my kids in the middle of the day, you know, or I'll talk about some personal development that I learned because my coaching journey taught me to do this, or you know, like I share bits and pieces of what Coach Life has done in posts that are not like call to actions too. And so it's just like breadcrumbs, just like you would with your health and fitness journey.
Yeah, and definitely share. It brought up to like, be a lifestyle like influencer. Leah posts that every Sunday night. Go to her page and see what she does. I think it's great because every Sunday night people know that she's going to be posting that. It's in their face. But you can share your lifestyle as a coach. Like, what does your day look like? You know, what are you doing? Where are you going? So if you're going to a Super Saturday, like, don't, like, that's the worst thing that, like, I could, like, bang my head against the wall. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. Is when I see coaches go to a Super Sunday or Saturday and they don't share about it. I'm like, what are you, like, I don't know. That, like, boggles my mind. But those are, like, just little things. Or, like, the team retreat. Or, you know, like, if I'm getting, like, a hotel or airplane ticket, if I'm going to a personal development thing, like, I share that with, like, on my Instagram stories. So sometimes it's just, like, it might seem so simple. And you're like, oh, why would people want to know that about me? But, like, you're just sharing, like, how that type of lifestyle can, you know, could be their lifestyle too. So you're trying to, like, get other people into your shoes, if that makes sense. All right.
Going back to the getting started, right? I think it's important to identify their goals early on, and then set clear expectations with your coaches.
I'll put that under here.
And I know this is something that I'm personally working on getting better at, because if I have coaches that just want to do this as a hobby versus coaches that like want to quit their job in 2 years, then what I know that what some mistakes that I've made in the past is that I have failed to set clear expectations for them as far as like what it's going to take to do those, and not deviating like from the norm. So like we tell you like in training, right? Like add 5 friends, send 5 or 10 invites. But like if you want to quit your job, you got to be doing way more than that. Like I do way more than that. So I need to be clear with my coaches that that's what they want. I think that's, and making that also like if someone wants to do this as a hobby, knowing what their expectations are for them. So just meeting your coaches at their goals, but being honest.
And sometimes, especially in the beginning, I was like, oh, this, like, why isn't this person doing anything? Or, you know, why aren't they reaching? Why aren't they at Diamond yet? And some people don't want to. And we have to be okay with where if they want to be a hobby coach, cool. Like it's not our job to put our goals onto them. And what's the word I'm looking for?
Assume.
Yes, I was going to say be an ass. Put that assumption or assume that they want that, and then, you know, push them for something that they really don't want. And then that's when people kind of get pushed too far, is when you're not kind of in line with what they really want to do.
Yes, totally.
And I think, you know, how do you do that? So like in the welcome email, like I always feel like, this is my 2 cents, is with the welcome email, we have one in the team page, or just send the one that your coach sent you, is if they're not doing the simple steps in that welcome email, I'm not going to do a call with them. Like I've just have done so many calls with people who haven't done anything in the email, and guess what? They don't end up doing anything. If they're not willing to do simple steps in an email, I'm not going to be wasting my time on a call with them, because that's one thing in this business that is invaluable, is your time. But I'm going to put it up here anyways, is have, you know, like that getting started right call with them once they've completed that. And same kind of, and I'll add the training too of like Coach Basics. And we have like the step-by-step training is, I'm not going to put somebody in a training if they haven't even opened up a freaking email yet. Like it just, you know, you have to plant the seeds, water the seeds before it becomes a plant. Same thing with.
Yeah. Meet your coaches at their pace is super key.
What do I want to say? And then for people who are like pushing for certain goals, have, you know, mentoring calls with them. Or you can have like a chat thread with them or check in. I know like with a lot of my coaches, they just like to text me, and I'm fine with that. But same thing, if people are not reaching you where you're reaching them, like if you're putting in more effort to show up for calls and then the last second they have to cancel, and then like you've done that like 10 million times, and then, you know, you're reaching out, hey, where are you? What are you doing? And you get no response. Like that's kind of your sign of, I'll be there for you, but like you need to show me. Another coach, I think it was like Janelle Summers or something. She said, this is a dog scenario, so I can relate to this. If you're throwing a dog, like, you know, the ball, and you keep throwing it and you keep throwing it and the dog doesn't bring it back, like, why are you going to keep throwing the damn ball if the dog's not going to bring it back to you? Kind of same, I know we're not throwing balls at people, but same analogy.
Yeah. I think another thing is to get your coaches to events. That's maybe another topic. I think that's so important to get your coaches to live events, because so much magic happens at live events, and it makes you really feel a part of the community. Yeah.
Yeah. There is not one top coach or not one, you know, elite coach that hasn't went to some sort of personal development event. I'll just say that there and then. Like, it's just, you can't grow in this business if you're not willing to dive into that kind of stuff.
But something you can do is just, as a coach, is lead by example. Maybe that's under the personal development tab. If you want your coaches to have success in personal development, you need to lead with that.
Yeah. And I think that goes for all of them. Like, if you're not sharing like what coaching is doing for you or inviting to coaching, then your coaches aren't going to do that. And down the line. So, and I think that goes like across, like I said, across the board for everything. If you expect your coaches to do it, but you're not doing it, you kind of have to ask yourself that hard question, like, am I doing the things that I want my coaches to be doing? Christina did say something in the chat before. I just kind of, my brain scattered. Okay. Christina said, I'm so scared about sharing coaching and need to do more with it because it has helped me, but I have to find ways to share it. I feel like for me, the easiest way to even like start off like a coaching post is some sort of personal development. I'll pick a quote and then I'll just run from there. Or I'll go to another coach's page and see kind of like, there's always like different like topics of coaching that you can like take like, what's the word I'm looking for? But take out from it, right? So whether you're talking about like what it's done for your relationships, what it's done for your confidence, what it's done for your friendships, like pick a different topic each time, like you're talking about coaching. So it's really just kind of like, get a pen and paper out, notebook. I know you love notebooks, Christina. Go to some other coaches' stuff, see how they're sharing coaching, and then write those topics out. And then you can pick one topic for the day and kind of just, it's one of those things like new coaches don't want to do, and they mostly don't do. But like, if you're like, nobody wants to coach, like that's the reason nobody wants to coach, is because there's that disconnect there. So you need to make that connection, whether it's Facebook posts or Instagram stories or whatever. Like they need to know that they can do this too. Everyone's like, is everyone like tired tonight?
Yes. What Lauren wrote is good though. You could add that under personal development, is just like sharing your learnings.
Too. Sorry.
Like if you have a personal development lesson that you learn, sharing that with your team.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of like under like team training too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move this here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why don't you guys just, to get some ideas going, why are you still a coach? Just like in the thread, like write all the things like, why are you a coach? Like, why have you remained a coach? Because that will probably get us going on to some ideas on how to keep people coaches, because we know why you guys are coaches still. So Courtney wrote, being accountable to her customers. So I think accountability is definitely like a big reason a lot of people do become coaches. So what I think is really important under maybe getting started right is getting your coaches a quick win. So like as soon as your coaches signed up is like getting them a customer, right? Like the quicker you get your coaches a customer, the quicker they're going to be more accountable to helping people.
And I think too with that, I'll add, is like helping them like craft their like first post, like getting them to just rip that Band-Aid off, put that out there. And you're going to have like some coaches that have a really great warm market, meaning they have a lot of friends on Facebook or social media that will like hop all on it, right? And then you'll have some other people that they'll put that out there and they get crickets. But I think it's a good way for you to see where they then need to work. Do they need to work on then growing their network and kind of just pretty much starting off completely fresh? Or do they have a pretty good warm market that they can pull from? Oh, I did want to go back to the live events too. And just making, I don't know where this would fit, but making your team feel like they are a part of something. So like making like doing events, whether it is a team retreat. You don't need me to do that, right? Like Leia does her own thing. Ashley did a pool day, and she's doing a Christmas party. Like when people feel like they are a part of something bigger than themselves, they don't care if they're making money. They don't like, they don't care what rank they're at. Like they want to be a part of something. And I think as women, like we need that, especially kind of as we.
Yeah, totally. That's something that I very strategically do. I know my coaches know this. Like I plan events with our team like every month or every other month. We try to do stuff together. Like I want my team to be as close as possible for not only the relationships, but for that team culture. And not everybody obviously on my team is local, but it's also obviously strategic too. Like I want my people to stay. I want them to love the community. I want them to grow. I want them to have relationships. The better community, the more likely they're going to want to work together and help push for team goals, and everybody's going to help each other. So it's not only just because I like to hang out with my friends and my teammate, it's obviously also business and strategic. That's because I looked at what other successful coaches were doing, and events and being together and creating community. That's what they were doing. And that works. And that was something for me that I thrived off of. When I was a new coach, I went to every single brand new thing. Anything Rose had, I was there. Like I jumped all over it. And that's the kind of culture I want to create for my team.
I was going to say, and I'll talk instead of typing. The reason I stick with coaching is it gives me more than just being a mom and a wife. And it gives me something to look forward to. I can make no money, and I'd still be a coach just because I really don't know what else I would have for myself and what it's brought me just in the past year. I can't even fathom what it's going to bring me this year. So that's what it's brought me. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I think sharing that accountability of being a coach, I mean, that's a home run there. Just focus on that. And
Ashley, do you think there's any way that you can help cultivate that for your coaches? Like, how can you instill that in your coaches?
I can't say I'm not good. I have not really given it the whole, like, being a leader and forming a team the best go. And that's where I struggle the most. I have no problem posting or talking about the coaching experience. I just struggle in building a team. And I just don't know if it's.
Why do you think that is? Is because you don't think that you're a leader, or
the time, the extra time? I'm already I feel like I'm already putting so much time into just reaching out and building new customers and working full time and making posts that I feel like it's a whole nother part of it that I need to build into my day. And it's easy for me to do it because it's me posting and me putting myself out there and me sharing and reaching out, versus now I have to do it with someone else and on their time. And it's hard for me to get that time with my coaches, with the little time that I do have.
I would say just treat them like a challenger.
It's completely my mindset. It's not even on my radar right now, which is why I'm here right tonight.
Yeah.
Because I have been struggling. I struggle. Yeah. It's my biggest, it's kind of like, I feel like the building block. It's like my next step of this whole process. And
I think it's an expectation thing that you can have for yourself too. Like, we have, Team Arise has an infrastructure already in place for you. We have calls, we have training, we have a team page. doesn't mean you can't start your own team page. Encourage you do, but because you create your own team doesn't mean that you have to do everything on your own like Rose does, or I don't even do everything on my own either. And when I was a new coach, I definitely didn't. But I think that's an expectation that you might have about yourself, because I know that I did when I was new as a leader, that I had to like create all of these systems by myself. No, use what works. And then if you find that your team, eventually you get to a point, like for me personally, I got to a point where I felt like my team needed group training, and what we had for the team wasn't working for my team. So I decided to do my own trainings, but then sometimes I flip flop, and then I use a self-paced training, or I do my own training. So you just have to like, there's so much already in the system. Being a leader just means doing everything you're already doing, leading from the front, and just like locking arms with the people that want to do that with you, you know?
I think that's what it is the people who have said, yes, I want to coach, they're still working on themselves and haven't quite gotten there either. So then not that I forget about it, but I'm just like, okay, no big deal. Like, I'll just let it go. And that's it seems like it's the cycle. It's the circle that goes around.
Well, you're always going to have coaches that are like that. You're always going to have coaches that say they want to coach and they don't do anything with it, or they say they're going to coach and then they're a rock star for a month and then they drop off the face of the planet. Or you're going to have coaches that are going to show up on team calls, and you're going to have coaches that don't show up in team calls. You're going to have coaches that never seem like they respond to anything you post, right? It's just, that's how it is. That's the tough part about being a leader, is just leading from the front and having the vision for what you want. And eventually, when you do it long enough, you're going to find people that want to do it with you. And you still get, like, I still am at a point where I still feel like I'm still looking for those people. I'm always going to be looking for those people. So you just,
I feel like you need to step into that, believing you are a strong leader, to attract those types of people. Like, yes. John Maxwell talks about like the leadership ceiling. You can only attract the people that are below the ceiling that you're at. So if you're trying to attract like Amy Rada or Melanie Mitro, but at your leadership ladders down here, like you can't attract those types of people. So you have to go back to like that mindset of believing that, yes, I can be a leader. And you're still going to get those coaches that say, yes, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. I still get that. But then you'll find those few far in between that are going to meet you kind of at that leadership level. So his books are great. John C. Maxwell, any of his leadership books. I think that's like a really great place to start, having that belief in yourself that you can like actually do this. So like I don't think I opened up my team page until maybe I was a coach for like 2.5 years. I felt the same way. I was like, I had Lisa's team page. I didn't want to pull people out of there. I was making it more of a like, I started coming up with all these excuses of like, oh, well, like they're in Lisa's thing, and like, how are we going to do trainings, and how are we going to run challenge groups, and like, I would just make everything a mess. I was coming up with all of these like extra little things when all I just needed to do was make a freaking group and name it. And then I spent like freaking months thinking of the name, which is ridiculous because now it's like, whatever. But it is as simple as going on Facebook, click, open up a group, team, blah, 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 and adding your coaches in there. It's as simple as that. Pull something from Google if you want to post once every week, something motivational, you know what I mean? Or see how you want to run your own team. Like, it doesn't have to be so big. We make things seem so big that we have to like overcome, and it can really be like just that simple.
Yeah. And I think another thing for you, because you have been around for like a while, Ashley, versus some of the newer coaches, is I feel like when I started, it was like really pushed, like as a newer coach, is like once you started to like form a team, like not just pushed from us, like it was like the network, like it was kind of this culture of like create your own teams, do your own things, and like take it your own lead. But the network kind of got back to this place where it was like leaders should lock arms, like we're all doing all of this the same work, and it's more efficient, and it's better if like the leaders within a team kind of like do it together, you know? So you know, like that's why I don't run my own team calls, because why would I do that when you can have Rose and me on a team call and we can have more people to collaborate, you know, because it's more beneficial. So, you know, using the whole team Rise, as our resources and our networks to help you and your coaches.
I agree. I feel like in the beginnings, like Leah said, like once you were a diamond, it's like, make your own team page, your own training. And they found that people that did that, it was like, and they fell off. If we just help each other, use each other, you know, run groups and all that kind of stuff together, it really takes off. I feel like what you're feeling of that you have to do all this extra stuff when it's just like that mental piece that you're just putting in there.
The funny thing is, like, I have coaches that I know be good coaches, and I'm going to be completely real. I just don't feel like asking them to coach, because if they say yes, then I feel like I've got more to do. Actually, people say yes, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, that's it. I just leave it at that. I don't even take it to like the next step, because I just feel like I already have enough to do as it is.
I mean, I feel like too, if you're happy where you're at, what your business, then cool. If you're not, then you need to do some soul searching of like, why is this blocking me? Like, if I want to reach something bigger, that has to be a part of it.
Well, here's my personal development for the night. Thank you.
I hope you're not thinking we're ganging up on you, because we're not.
Not at all. No, I've been.
And one thing I want to add, Ashley, is because I know how much like you love this and helping other people, to see your coaches grow, to see your coaches change, to see your coaches learn the lessons they learn, that is 10 times more rewarding than any challenger.
Yeah.
Like to see my coaches thrive, to see them like becoming these people because I'm helping guide them, is way more rewarding than any challenger. So the extra time, which is honestly really not that much unless you're thinking you have to do all these mentoring calls with your people, which you shouldn't unless they're actually doing the work and matching your pace and they're showing up.
Yeah.
Then you make time with them on your schedule. Then it's not really, they're just doing it with you together.
Oh shit, what was I going to say?
You need to realize too, like, this is my full-time, you know, I do this. This is the only thing I do. So if you're like, I can't like Roseanne, and I try not to like answer things quickly in the team page because I don't want to set that expectation for you guys that you feel like you have to do that. Like you don't. I'm just like, this is what I do. So.
And you've worked hard to get there.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like a snap of the fingers and you were there. One goal, just to go back to what we were talking about earlier about the getting started right and that first accomplishment, I personally feel like everyone should hit Emerald, because once you hit Emerald, like big things start happening as far as your pay and building your team. Like and it's easy to hit Emerald. It's people like me that don't push their coaches to go hit Emerald, just kind of let them be, and then they never hit it, so then they end up falling off because they don't have any success in it. When Emerald is such an easy thing to hit and you can start seeing success, I feel like if you hit that, you're like, oh, cool, I'm Emerald. Like I'm making, like you can make team bonuses and make more money. And help more people. And I think that's an easy yet huge goal to achieve for a new coach.
Yeah, I think this whole business is built on emeralds. Like that's what every rank is, right? It's just emerald, emerald, and duplicating. Yeah, like it can be that simple. Ashley, just get your coaches helping two people.
That's all it is. I think that's the first goal, is getting them to, their first goal is to say yes, make a post, and then help people, get two people, and you're at Emerald. That's huge.
And then what else was I going to say too? I forgot. Never mind.
You know, it's funny. I always get in this mindset. It's because of I literally don't, because I haven't done any personal development. And I say this every single time when I get into this funk.
Oh, I know what I was going to say too, is if you got yourself to Emerald, you are highly qualified to get your coaches to Emerald, to get other people to Emerald, right? You don't need to be Diamond. You don't need to be earning such and such. You don't need to have a team page or whatever. Like if you're an Emerald, you can teach somebody else how to get there.
Also, at the getting started right, you guys said a fitness transformation. I think it'd be fitness. It could also be a mental transformation too. I don't know if that would go into personal development. I don't think it always has to be fitness. Some people do this because they mentally, it helps them.
Yeah.
Or health, their health transformation.
So I just want to say, like, I feel like sometimes people are scared to start coaching because they see some of us doing so much and they're afraid that they're not going to have the time to commit. So I wish I had let people know, like, you don't need to do as much. Like, you know, Eric and I run like most of our challenge groups together, and I see a lot of the people are like a little scared because they're like, oh, you know, you guys are posting every single day in the groups, and they're afraid to commit that much. So I wish kind of like try to reassure, like, you don't need to do, like, kind of what you guys were talking about, like, you don't need to do everything that we're doing, you know, kind of ease them into it a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think I would put that under getting started right as like gradual.
I think that's like setting clear goals and expectations. You're setting the right expectations for them.
But what I kind of on that lines too, like what I found is that if I gradually acclimate someone to coaching, they're way more likely to succeed than if I throw everything at them. So I have like signed up a brand new coach and like 2 days later put them into a challenge group and coach trainings like in the past. And they were total bombs. There's no way they were going to succeed. They've never done anything, and I'm expecting them to like pick up a program and coach. I learned the hard way that that's not the right way to do that in the past. So I think gradually, you know, in everything, letting them know about what their responsibilities are, but gradually teaching them what they need to do.
I get that a lot, what Christy just said about if I sign up, but not even do I have to coach, but because they sign up as a coach to get the discount, does that mean I have to post? Are you going to post about me? Can you not post about me? I'm not going to post a damn thing about you. Like, that's like the first question I get is, does anyone have to know I'm doing this? It's like Beachbody Anonymous.
But I think like that's like when I sign somebody up for the discount, how I say it plants that seed of like, don't worry, you don't have to coach, but if you want to make some income, we can talk about it later down the road. Or if you want to earn some like referral, blah, 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 referral bonus, or however you want to state it. Like if you just plant that seed small and see that like they can just start as a challenger and then, you know, gradually work their way up.
So I've actually been trying to change because in the beginning I wanted to sign everybody up under me. And then I realized I'm never going to get to Diamond or anything like that if I don't help my coaches. So every time I started signing up a new challenger, I actually asked them, do you have a friend or a family member that might be interested? And then I would get them to sign up under them instead of signing up under me, which in the beginning I wasn't doing that. Hasn't been successful yet, but then I just tell them, like, if I could get them to sign up 2 people and then they start to see maybe the income coming in and the potential, even though they're a new challenger, like, you know what I mean? Like it might grow for them. It might work, it might not work, but that's kind of where I've been trying to go.
No, that's great. Especially like number one, asking for referrals. Like that's just another, network of people you don't even know about. And then putting them under there, that gives them the like, aha, like I could actually do this.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, I know Erica used to like help them craft a post, like her customers craft a post and put that on their Facebook. And then I don't know if she would sign them up under them or whatever, but like you can make it that simple for them to just get somebody that they, underneath them. All right, ladies, anything else? Any other comments, questions, concerns? All right, I think we all need to rest up. Yeah, have a great night. Thanks for hopping on, the 8 of us. Woo.
Good night.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thanks, everyone.